Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Bally's Sportsbook and Casino, downtown Baton Rouge. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, as well as Max Gotro here. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Colucci with us at the bottom of the hour. U.S. wraps up pool play today in their match against Turkey, which has got a late start tonight. Golf is underway in Connecticut, and a trade in the NBA that involves a former LSU player. We'll get to all of that in a second. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You know, we got a couple of stories that involve former LSU basketball. One a player and one a coach. And I want to start with the coach because we got the news this morning, or actually last night, that longtime basketball assistant coach Ron Abernathy passed away at the age of 75. He was living in Jackson, Tennessee. Ron Abernathy, who I never had the chance to meet, but certainly knew of him and observed him for a long time during what would have to be considered the golden era of LSU basketball, the best decade-long stretch in the history of the program. Abernathy was from Louisville, and, you know, long before Shaquille O'Neal and Chris Jackson and that group, I think you would agree with me on this, Jimmy, that the most important recruit that Dale Brown got in his first 5 years with the program was Rudy Macklin.
No doubt.
Out of Louisville. And to get Macklin out of the basketball hotbed of Kentucky, because Denny Crum, who was a star even back then, was hot on him to go to Louisville. Louisville was by far the more accomplished program. Abernathy was Macklin's coach at Shawnee High School and was a runner-up for Kentucky High School Coach of the Year. And for Macklin to come and his coach to come with him, well, we know about coach-player packages before. This maybe the best package deal that LSU ever got. Not only did they get an All-American player, but they got a coach that was I would go so far as to call him the best assistant coach recruiter in basketball that LSU's ever had. If he's not number one, he's certainly in the conversation, because it wasn't just Macklin that he brought with him. He got Dwayne Scale. I'm not going to say he just got him. Of course, Dale was the head coach, but he was the lead recruiter on Dwayne Scales, on Willie Sims, on Ethan Martin, who's right here in Baton Rouge, Leonard Mitchell, who's from St. Martinville, Greg Cook. The backbone,
out of New York.
The backbone of the 3-year run, the best 3-year run in LSU history, 79 to the Sweet 16, eliminated by Michigan State. 80, who won the national championship. 80, the Louisville team that won the national championship, Darrell Griffith, Dr. Duncanstein. And 81, which remains the best. I think the best team in LSU. Certainly the best team I ever saw.
It is.
I didn't see the Pettit team that went had 3 losses and made that run. But the best team and lost in the Final Four in Philadelphia to Indiana. LSU lost to the eventual national champions 3 years in a row. Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four. Abernathy was right in the middle of all of that. And, Dale talked about him last night. He's on Tiger Rag radio with Glenn Gilbo and those guys. And he talked about how important Abernathy was to everything that they did. And Rudy had a quote. He says, we respected Coach Abernathy, but we hated when he ran practice, because if Dale was out on a recruiting trip or something, Abernathy would run us to death. So sad to hear of his passing because he was such a big part of that monster run for LSU basketball.
It's exactly what you said, Charlie. That just to reinforce it, that so many times you have a coach, a high school coach, and a player of the package deal, and that's about it. This guy delivered so many more than just Rudy Macklin. But Rudy was so important because it was a building block. It was a different era. He was going to be here for 4 years. He was playing immediately as a freshman. With 24 rebounds, first game ever against Tulane, something like that.
I thought it was more than that. But
that might be. 20, whatever.
It was a monster game.
Stupid number.
Yes, it was.
He was. That was the story. In '78 when we when my dad and Rick Roby went to Carr Junior High before he went to Brother Martin, and we came up in '78 to see that Kentucky LSU game, and we were, man, they got this freshman. Rudy was creating a buzz, that Abernathy did. But, man, he was – and you cannot talk about Ron Abernathy, Coach Abs, without talking about that fly-ass outfit he always wore.
Oh,
okay?
he was
groovy. He was cool. He was – he had a way of, just kind of making an impression – with a lot of the inner city kids. And he delivered over and over and over. And, man, how long was he here?
He was here from 76 to 89.
Okay,
so,
14 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long, that's a good while. But he, the best recruiter, he's a Bebe Ogeron of basketball.
That's a great comparison.
Now, totally different.
Sure,
sure.
Yeah.
Totally different in their style and approach. But, they got it done, and Abernathy was the most accomplished recruiter in the history of LSU basketball. I agree with that. Kentucky won in '78. That was Rudy's freshman year, and then his junior year, Louisville won, where he's from. I mean. That was a hard time to get him. And listen, keep in mind that team that won in '78 for Kentucky, the seniors, when they were freshmen, Roby, Phillips, and those guys, they had gone all the way to the finals. John Wooden's last championship, but they made it to the finals. Joby Hall was right. I mean, that was a really strong run for Kentucky basketball. And we talk about Louisville, how they built to their national championship as well. So this is, Rudy would have been a nice piece on those teams as well.
Oh.
So it was a vision, Abernathy and, that Dale had that worked. Because before they landed Rudy, it wasn't that much different than when it's when. I wouldn't say like the last year or two with LSU basketball, but a lot of lean year had not accomplished anything. I don't think they had even gone to the tournament. It was a 48-team tournament, but I think it was Rudy's sophomore season where they finally made it. And they went to the Sweet 16 and lost to Michigan State and Magic Johnson on his way to win the national championship. But Coach Abernathy, yes, indeed. I mean, everybody look, when you could bring up Coach Abernathy, wouldn't people just smile and kind of like, because he was character.
Yes.
He's a cat.
Yeah.
He was a cool, Coach Abernathy, man, he's smoothing over the mamas, just kind of just working his magic in recruiting. He was, man, people love talking about Coach Abernathy. He was a character, and that was Dale's kind of his, he was part of Dale's show. He was part of it, but always, always by his side, and at the games, he was character, but he was effective, and the players liked him, man, too.
They bought in to everything that he was. I'm using Rudy's words because they
Rudy's
they carry so much weight.
Guy that nobody can speak more authoritatively than of course Dale, because what he saw in him but to go right in there to Kentucky internationally. Did Louisville and Kentucky offer a package deal? Maybe not. Maybe they didn't have to. whatever. Dale had to do what he had to do, but also, man, you got Rudy as your building block, and you got Coach Abs for 14 years, who's the most accomplished. Win. Because a lot of times package deals come with a negative connotation.
Yeah.
And, but not the case. Not the case.
His recruiting reach, just to kind of paint the picture, Howard Carter and Ethan Martin were from here. They were from Baton Rouge. Greg Cook was from
New York.
He went to high school in Newark, but it's across the river, so it's New York. Mitchell was from St. Martinville. Willie Sims was from Long Island, who was just fantastic. Dwayne Scales, who he got very early, right after he came here,
Dallas,
was from Dallas, and so he was stretching. Of course, if you get into
did he recruit Williams?
I think Johnny was probably a little bit more to the front with Williams. I know he was on that staff, obviously. I always remember, but yeah, he was a part of that too. The sheer number of players that
wasn't he still? He was still recruiting Chris Jackson.
Yeah. At the end, he took the job at Tennessee State, I believe it was, when he left here. That didn't work out for him, but
CJ's freshman year was when?
1988. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry Reynolds, Ice Reynolds, another New Yorker, who was a fantastic player here.
Where's Stephon Johnson for? He didn't pan out as much, but he was a big recruit.
He was a bit. I don't remember where Stephon was from. I remember Tito Horford and the endless pursuit of Tito, who they finally got to campus and was here for about 20 minutes before he left.
Literally for like a week or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger names that came through here. And the dress. Dale had a great quote last night. He said he made me feel like a hobo. how he dressed because he was put together, man. So we're sad to hear about the passing. A lot of those Dale assistants that have passed on now. Rick Huckabee, Art Tolis, Bob Boyd, Tex Winter, they've all passed, in the last 15 to 20 years, and now Coach Abs passes away. He was just here this spring for the 40-year reunion.
Really?
He was here for the 40-year reunion of the '86 Final Four team, and they had a real nice get-together and some good pictures and stuff like that.
I think he had a lot to do with recruiting. A lot more than maybe you remember. Recruiting Williams.
Yeah, he was. He helped. Dale is always going to have the legendary Shaq story about finding him in Germany, but Abernathy was right in the middle of that too. When Shaq came to the States, and they kept recruiting him because by the time everybody found out about him, obviously they were flocking to him. So, yeah.
Well, it's also a 1-2 combination punch because we don't get into this much, but it is nice to have two guys from different backgrounds, and a white coach and a black assistant kind of deal. I mean, it just kind of he can say no. Coach Dale is going to care about your kid. Yeah. Sometimes they're more comfortable with similar backgrounds, and so. It's just, Dale did his fair share of recruiting as well.
Of course,
he was that's his strength. He was a salesman,
yes.
A promoter. I mean, before anybody was, but it's nice to have, those two guys from different, North Dakota and Louisville. That's a little bit different, and so they were a hell of a 1-2 punch, man. In recruiting. And
he was, I didn't know this until I read it this morning, but he was still coaching high school basketball as recently as last year.
What?
Yeah, he was still coaching at a small school in Tennessee, I believe.
I need to see a picture of what he was wearing just last year.
I got a picture.
You do?
I do.
Can I see? Can I check out his?
It's a purple.
Look
it's
at
a purple,
that smile.
a purple and blue suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sport coat.
It's obviously we're on
that
the radio,
is a
but if you want to check it out,
picture of him, man.
at LSU. This was at the reunion in
okay.
February or March.
Okay.
it's at LSUsports.net. It's a terrific picture, Coach Abs.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, really
Great
is.
memories, man, because they didn't have much to sell at all, man. This was a dead program, as were a lot of the SEC programs. I mean, it was Kentucky.
It was
and
Kentucky in the
yeah,
dwarfs.
this was pre-Arkansas before they
Sure.
became part of the league. It was C.M. Newton had some teams at Alabama. Mm-hmm. He did have some teams, and that was before Sonny Smith. Sonny Smith kind of came in after Dale, and then kind of got it rolling. But the point is just very little to sell, very little, and these guys, built it from the ground floor, man.
Really?
And look, a lot of times, but make no confusion. Rudy was such an important building block, so important, man.
No argument at all. Ron Abernathy passes away at the age of 75.
We're over here, Charlie. We got World Cup fever, man. We were both here on Saturday, and we were watching the end of the Germany game. Did people get excited? They scored in extra time.
Yeah.
To avoid a draw.
I think there were a few people had a Germany ticket on Saturday.
I had some friends who were over here last night. They just said, man, we had no idea about the screens. So no, man, the screen. This is a viewing area here at the DraftKings Sportsbook in downtown at the Atrium in the Bally's Casino is legit, man. So we got it broken up into 3 right now. We got some baseball getting underway, and we also have some golf that is going on as well. We got some early developments there. But World Cup tonight, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I see what you said, Max. I thought it was 8 o'clock for a long time. If you
Fox advertised it, coverage starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, but sometimes they won't even put the coverage starts. They'll just put 9 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in an hour early.
I really did. I thought it was 8 o'clock, the start of the game, but it's at 9 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be fun over here tonight, man. It's a festive place, and not just tonight, but all the way through the World Cup, and not just the U.S., but, man, it's an awesome place to watch it. This is it's the nicest screen, man, and around here. It's not close. So come by and check it out. And the great thing about it is it's you can see it from a lot of different areas. So if you're playing a machine, or if you're having bite to eat or something like that, hanging out at another, this is such a focal point of the casino, this massive screen that's broken up over here at Bally's.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Our on-demand coverage is brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Supporting our Louisiana farmers, go to SupremeRice.com. 32 rebounds for Rudy Macklin in his debut, which
24
against Tulane.
24 is a lot, Charlie. 32.
32, still a school record. And there have been some pretty
I think so.
Pretty good big men come through here.
Regulation, not the double overtime game where everybody fouled out.
No,
wow.
32 boards for Rudy in his debut back in November of 1976. There's been some pretty good big men come through here. So you hold a rebounding record, you really.
I mean, what was Shaq's back? I mean, that's
I don't know
obviously.
if Shaq ever got 20. Bob Pettit might have.
Yeah. But the media was still courtside during Shaq's tenure, and it was just something to watch from courtside. I mean, it was just.
I was there the night of the McNeese dunk, the dunk against McNeese, where he had full extension. The ball came out the back iron.
Yeah. Shaq had 24 rebounds in Loyola Marymount game.
Okay, that was in overtime or double overtime?
That was overtime,
right?
But
I think the amount of possessions were probably the highest LSU's ever played.
Triple-double with 12 blocks.
Triple-double, 12 blocks.
He had 5 blocks on Hank Gathers in the first 4 minutes of the game because Hank was going to go right at him.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not scared of you.
Oh,
and Shaq kept,
LSU built the double-digit lead like they were going, oh, man, this might be a rout. No, then they're down double digits. I mean, it's
game in the 140s. Yeah, that would make sense. 24 rebounds for him in that game.
The most memorable game before Hank Gathers died later that season?
Yeah.
Has to be, huh?
Yeah, he died less than a month later. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was conference tournament. You know, and it was a non-conference game that was right in the middle of conference play.
It was in February.
Yeah.
You don't see that too much anymore. Another former LSU big man in the news this morning, and that's Naz Reid, who was traded this morning from the Minnesota Timberwolves to the Charlotte Hornets. The Timberwolves get LaMelo Ball and Josh Green. The Hornets get Naz Reid and a whole slew of picks, an unprotected pick in 33. You can trade a pick 7 years out. 3 first-round picks, swaps, and 3 second-round picks. Nas, signed that big contract. Has been a big part of what Minnesota was doing. Averaged 13.5 points, 6.5 rebounds last season for the Hornets, and for the Timberwolves, and now on his way to the Hornets. In 7 NBA seasons, his averages are right at 12 points and right at 5 rebounds a game, but he didn't play very much his first season in the league, so those stats are a little bit skewed. I'd say he's put up a little bit better numbers than that. And Minnesota is trying, they need somebody to put with Anthony Edwards in the backcourt. He's tired of getting double teamed, so they went after LaMelo Ball, who last season averaged 20 points, 7 assists, and nearly 5 rebounds a game. But the story with Ball, he has not been quite as injury prone as his brother. But last season was the first time he had played in more than 47 games in 4 years. So he had good numbers last year. When he stays healthy, he can score 37% from three-point range. And he's a very good free throw shooter. Charlotte was going to be a fashionable pick to increase their win total significantly next year, based on how they finished last season.
They were one of the hottest teams. Yeah.
So this is I love Naz Reid, but this is going to set them back. But they're resetting their franchise. They're going to build around that backcourt. I say backcourt. Con Knipple and Brandon Miller, the 2 top 5 picks that they've got on that team. Naz Reid will be a very nice piece for them.
They've got quite a front court now. I mean, with Kalkbrenner, who just came in, he had a good rookie season.
They'll be very big.
Musa Diabate. Yeah. I mean, they're truly obviously changing the makeup of this team, but an interesting offense that they run. They bring in Kobe White now to replace.
He had a good run he played about 24 games for them at the end of the season when they brought him in, and they're trying to re-sign him. You're right, he played very well.
I think they did re-sign him today.
They have done that.
If I saw that correctly.
Yeah,
Charlie. Yeah,
3 years, $74 million.
It catch my attention when you say another big man from LSU. Well, he was big physically,
right?
But he's a face-the-basket player.
Yes,
he tried. I've never seen a guy who had his size who was so uncomfortable with his back to the basket. I mean, he just looked, his footwork was like he was just thrown on. He just wasn't that player. And he tried a little bit, but it was not his comfort zone. And he can shoot. And you remember, it might have been his last game or one of his last games, but the tournament game the SEC tournament game against Florida, well, he was just bombing, like got LSU back into it, like got him all the way tied. I'm like, oh, man. And he is what a lot of teams cover, kind of that stretch 4. He's very, very durable. He's 75, 76 games a year, minus his first year. So that's over a 6-game period. The fans loved him. They were talking about how when Karl Anthony Towns was there, he was like, man, we need to build more around Naz Reid then. Now, Edwards is obviously the guy now. And I just wonder if they're a little bit too close in skill set to kind of have one. So LaMelo Ball offers something completely different, coming in. Part of Charlotte's run was, good, kind of a young, fun team. Part of it, though, is a lot of those games, a big chunk, was against some tankers. But so it's kind of, I don't know. And, just the Ball thing is, I don't know how good he's gonna be. He's he can look really, really good sometimes, and he can really just keep jacking him up when he's ice cold and he doesn't care. So the inconsistency of his play is something that you're trying to figure out.
Where would you put Reed in Will Wade 1 as far as impact players? I would, just off the top of my head.
Played 2 years here?
Yeah, I would say he was probably the second best player that Wade recruited here behind Tremont Waters. Now, he's going to have a longer NBA career than any of these guys, but as far as the LSU impact, would he be number 2 behind Tremont? Would you have him number 1? Where would you put him up against?
That's hard to say.
Certainly one of the top 2 or 3 guys that Wade brought here the first time.
Who else would be in the conversation?
If you get towards Darius Days, who stayed here for 4 years, you could talk about 4 years versus 2.
What, the kid from Scotlandville?
Javonte Smart. I would say Naz Reid had a better career.
I loved, and he helped to win. I loved Emmett Williams. I loved him, man. He was a player, man.
Brought the energy, physical.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he got a lot of putbacks, could defend, rebound, and scored a little bit more as he went on. But I mean, Reed's going to have the best pro career by far. He has already.
Yes.
He's a good player.
And it's worth mentioning, Jimmy, not everyone, I guess, follows the NBA that closely, but he was a fan favorite in Minnesota. The fans really accepted him. Tattoos, of Naz Reid everywhere, and I don't
know about that.
That was a thing this year.
That the team
People were getting tattoos that just said Naz Reid, so I guess they got to keep those. But
talked to some friends from Minnesota, and they were like, no, they were, like I said, I mentioned it earlier, when Karl Anthony Towns was the main piece they had, a lot of the fans liked the Naz Reid style of play way more and thought that they should have built around him a little bit more. But yes, he was a very popular with that fan base.
Early returns are that Charlotte has gotten the better of this trade. Just the analysis is that Charlotte got the better of this trade. That's a lot of picks.
Was it head up or
no?
They get a lot of picks too.
They got some picks, yeah.
Bunch of pick swaps.
On its face, I thought, yeah. My initial reaction, well, Charlotte did pretty well here.
I would be interested to see what their efficiency ranking was. Just these two. I don't think it's a gap that the picks would otherwise maybe
LaMelo and Ant. Working together. We'll see. It probably raises their ceiling a little bit, but trying to make a move.
The people in the West got to try. There's some big old dogs over there with OKC and San Antonio. Okay, whether you're Denver, whether you're Minnesota, and Minnesota's been to, they've won their fair share of playoff series. But they got some big dogs, and you better at least try to shake things up, because the way that standing pat was not going to do it. Don't forget our friends. Hey, we talked about it was because the weather was so severe last Thursday. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics, their Capri event is happening today, 2 to 9 p.m. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinic on Blue Bonnet between Perkins and Highland. It's an open house event with food, drinks, catered event. Come on tour, the state-of-the-art facility. I've been going there for years and years, man. It is a nice home. Exclusive one-day pricing on select treatment skincare products. You can enter your name for a chance to win a Fendi purse. Plenty of savings on numerous products, services, procedures like injectables, facial balancing, tattoo removals. If you're a Team Wolves fan, you got a Naz Reid tattoo, get on over there today and set it up. And the process is not today, but you schedule it today, and you receive the savings today. Laser hair removal, hair restoration, skin perfection collection, hydrofacial, skin rejuvenation, products, all kinds of savings. Stop on by today. No reservation required. Just come on by and see us today at the Anti-Aging Clinic, the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinic of Louisiana on Blue Bonnet between Perkins and Highland. Our Capri event all day long.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can see Colucci over at the sports book, man, at the resort in Summerlin, with the soccer ball, and he's kicking it with his feet off his head, doing all the tricks.
He's soccer guy now?
Oh, man, you ought to see the videos. It's going wild, man.
Going viral?
Yes, indeed. Colucci, you got World Cup fever?
No. I tell you, the action has been great. I'll be honest with you. At Caesar Sports, they do a tremendous job of promoting. And, we had a huge viewing party the first game that the United States played. And the turnout was incredible. And, a lot of Las Vegas is hip and into it. I enjoy watching some of the games, but I'm not really a soccer enthusiast. We have several other sports here in the States that I follow a little more, precisely and try to focus on. But, yeah, it's been very exciting from a handle standpoint and from an interest standpoint from the public.
Well, with it being in the United States, it's gotten a little bit more attention. But also with the United States having a really good showing, maybe better than anybody expected, that's created a little bit more excitement as well. So what would you compare the handle that you have on the U.S. games or whatever, some of the more popular games, what would you compare it to? I mean, an NBA game in the middle of the season?
It's hard to compare. I mean, some of these games will exceed a Vegas Golden Knight game, during the regular season or the playoffs. Especially the United States and Mexico, the handle starts to get up there. And we've had a few people that are, parlaying some of these games. So the handle is very comparable to some of the majors outside of the NFL and college football where, that rules the realm. But, yeah, definitely. You're back. The Dodgers, the Yankees, stuff like that, the hotter teams in MLB. And, definitely the handle is up there, and it's been good. It's a summer blessing because if you only have baseball, it becomes a little stale. So, you add this, you add the U.S. Open last weekend was unbelievable. And, you get a good landscape other than just your baseball and your horse race you get surviving off of in the summer as a bookmaker.
Whenever you have a professional market, and certainly Las Vegas has evolved. I mean, just nobody has increased their professional franchises in their market more than Las Vegas has the last 10 years or so. 9 years, it just the Golden Knights just finished. But you had a couple of local boys from Las Vegas, a couple of brothers who came up big for this Cinderella story in Oklahoma, winning the College World Series. Any mention of that in that market when the Mercurius brothers in Oklahoma was making that run?
Yeah, sure. There was some mention of it. I think it was a little just overshadowed by the World Cup and the U.S. Open, like I said. But, yeah, in this particular market, yeah, you did get some focus and some articles, in the RJ and stuff like that about the brothers. But, yeah, definitely this wasn't a focal College World Series just because of the fact that you have this World Cup and you have so many exciting countries and different teams, people, supporting their countries, from different parts of the globe. It's just it overshadowed the College World Series just a tad. But here in Vegas, the boys did get some publicity.
Gotcha. Speaking of Major League Baseball, boy, it's not the same. The Yankees aren't as good. The Red Sox aren't as good, but they start their 4-game set tonight, and it used to be you used to get a better handle. How much is that the handle on those games declined over the years?
Well, it kind of declined because of the Dodgers. I mean, you got the Dodgers on every single parlay, but you still have the Yankees in first place with a 608 win percentage. 48 and 31, and they're not playing with their superstar power. I mean, Aaron Judge is hurt. Stanton is constantly hurt. Grisham is hurt. Yeah, Cole just came back. So you still have excitement, and usually the focus when these teams play is if they play on the Sunday night baseball, folks. There would always be massive handle on those Yankee-Red Sox games on a Sunday night baseball. But, yeah, it's diminished a little, and definitely the Dodgers are now the team that everybody focuses on, and it's just because of the product they put on the field. I mean, the Padres aren't playing bad baseball, but they're still 9 games behind. And when you have Shohei Ohtani, who, this is once again, you have another person that draws focus from countries outside of the United States to the American pastime. then you start to see increased handle and a lot of action on those games. But, you still have the Brewers playing very well. They have a 7-game lead. The Braves, they cooled off a little. They're on a kind of a losing streak now. But, kind of diminished the Yankee-Red Sox matchups because the Red Sox are so pitiful this year. I mean, they're falling off the map. But the Yankees still draw immense attention at the resort at Summerlin and Caesars Sports.
You know who's been, I don't want to say carrying them, but has been a real spark with all the injuries they've had? Paul Goldschmidt. A late career resurgence. I mean, he's hitting like 350 in the month of June.
He's a multi-hit machine right now.
2 more home runs last night. He has really gotten it going.
You mentioned the Padres, and that was they were winning a lot of close games early. We're right there with the Dodgers early, but, man, they are not getting what that lineup is getting paid. Last in Major League Baseball batting average, last in on-base percentage, second to last in runs scored. I mean, slugging percentage, last. I mean, then they just swept the Braves. Acuna's been out for the Braves, and that was interesting. And the Dodgers and the Dodgers go into Petco this weekend for a 3-game set. But no, the Padres, especially their lineup, has been a major disappointment.
Tatis. Yeah, Tatis is just, ever since the performance enhancers, he just isn't the same. And it goes to show you, are these guys really juicing it up to the max, and how much does it affect your performance? And definitely, if you look at his decline since he was caught with that, it's been incredible, And like you said, Machado isn't doing as well as he has in past years. Yet they still swept the Braves with, pitching and playing small ball. So, the National League is always interesting outside of the Dodgers, but you still got to beat the king on the top of the mountain. And these teams, I'm not so sure, other than right now, the Brewers, if anybody else could do it. Maybe in the American League, when you get to that World Series, you see how well the Blue Jays performed last year. You ride those emotional highs, and there's a possibility you could knock the Dodgers off the throne. But right now, looking at this Major League Baseball landscape, I don't see much stopping the Dodgers other than injuries.
Acuna, get healthy with Acuna. They might. I've seen the Brewers not even be competitive in the past, but, man, Mizorowski, I mean, the way he's pitching and a couple of their other young arms, they may have a little bit more fight in them. But you mentioned Machado. Machado's played 77 of the 79 Padres games. He is batting a smooth 184. That
ridiculous.
Is last in Major League Baseball with the amount of games played. Last.
And from a Dodger point of view, Jimmy, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, right?
Well, wait a minute. From a Dodger point of view, you guys, you kind of your loyalty is split. You love the Dodgers, but anybody that's taking bets is pulling against the Dodgers every night.
Yeah, but you got to understand, from the bookmaker side of the counter, Jimmy, they're pumped up so high that you really aren't getting hurt unless you're dealing with futures, and they're the favorite going into the season to begin with. And if the Dodgers lose a couple of games, it takes you 6 to make up the money if you're betting straight bets. So,
that's right.
You have them pumped up. And, from a bookmaker standpoint, you're able to root for a team like that. It was a little different with my Knicks because you have huge odds and you have, people jumping on the bandwagon as they play better and better. And that was a huge liability across the country for bookmakers. Same thing with the Vegas Golden Knights, but the Dodgers, we set them so high, we protect ourselves.
All right, but the last 2 or 3 years, the teams you were pulling for, the teams that they were betting against every night and throwing them in their cards, okay? There was 3 of them, like the last 3 or 4 years, and that would be the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Nationals. Now, 2 of those 3 are having good years. I mean, the White Sox, has the betting public shifted to the White Sox and Nationals now?
Well, yeah, Chicago definitely. They always shift. It depends on how hot the Cubs or the White Sox are. And with the White Sox being a first-place team and somewhat competitive, yeah, it definitely does shift the market, and you start to see money come in on these teams. A lot of people were also betting on the Nationals early in the season, like you said. You're dealing with a division there that does have 4 teams over 500 in the Braves, Phillies, Marlins, and the Nationals. So, yes, you do still have some marketability and market on these teams. Same thing with the Cubs, 6 games over 500, starting to win now a little bit. You start to see the public come out and back them. But then you have the teams like the Mets that totally offset that. You have diehard Mets fans Giants fans as well that will bet them regardless, and these teams are just horrible. You know, you're talking about 12 games under 500. The Mets now again on a massive losing streak. Can't get any production out of anybody. That fielding in the second game of the doubleheader against the Cubs yesterday was comical. It was like the Bad News Bears. And, you know, there's got to be some changes there. Definitely. I don't know what that front office and ownership does in the offseason. And Soto's a bust, in my opinion.
Mets are not getting their money's worth as well. I need to ask you, though, with the World Cup, did you guys get any of that smoke on those those high-profile players like Holland from Norway, multi-goals, Mbappe from France, multi-goals. Right. Who was the other one?
Messi.
Did you
scoring at will? Ronaldo didn't the other guy there score? He scored like 2 or 3. So, yeah, you definitely on the props market. You know, that's where it's tough for the book because it's.
We lose him.
He lost so much money to cut his phone out. We got to get rid of the World Cup, man. Coach can't even get the phone to work.
Coach saying they hit you so hard on them props that they cutting your phone service out, huh?
Yeah. You know that Stella Baton Rouge phone service that you guys got there. You know, it just transmits throughout the airwaves. But yes, to answer that question, there were parlays and props on those guys, definitely.
I mean, that's the oldest joke in of it. It wouldn't matter whose house we're at the West Bank or whose college apartment. I mean, the power goes out. Man, you didn't pay your bill.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you now. Real quick. We got about 35 seconds here. Golden Tempo is scheduled to go to Jim Dandy July 25th, the Travers the 22nd of August, and a Breeders' Cup Halloween. Do you think he will run in all 3 of those?
Yes, barring injury, definitely. And don't forget the Stephen Foster this weekend where you got Baez, Sovereignty, Magnitude, and White Abario going for this huge purse at Churchill Downs. Those right there are the 4 best horses that are in the country. Forever Young will travel for the Jockey Club Gold Cup for the opening of Belmont Park. So watch this weekend at Churchill. It's going to be a measuring stick. But, yes, Golden Tempo, she's an excellent conditioner. Cherie DeVoe. Horse should be very sound for the Jim Dandy, and you saw that he likes Saratoga, so, you know, Jim Dandy and Travers are right on his plate.
Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne, and if you're making your way into Las Vegas, so go by and check him out at the resort at Summerlin. He'll be bouncing a ball off his head, you know, the soccer ball in the sports book. You're the best, Dwayne. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Love everybody in Baton Rouge. Have a great summer, and let's cash tickets.
Yes, indeed. Your AC doesn't care if it's the hottest day of the year. When it quits, it just quits. That's why Total Maintenance offers same-day service to get your home cool and comfortable fast. Give Total Maintenance a call at 480-0007. That's 480-0007. Plus, repairs are backed up by our lifetime warranty, giving you confidence long after the repair is complete. When your AC breaks, don't sweat it. Call Total Maintenance, your total lifesaver. 480-0007, 480-0007, and tm-ac.com.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here from the main sportsbook area at Bally's. Come on by and see us here tonight for the World Cup, the final in match play in pool play, for the United States. The Travelers Championship up in Connecticut underway in the first round. And, Max, one of our consensus plays yesterday, we had 2 consensus picks. One of them was Justin Thomas, obviously very well known. He is 1 under par. That's okay. But Brian Harmon, 55-1 before the tournament, was our other consensus pick, and he is off to a red-hot start, 5 under through 8.
Yeah, Harmon has made 4 consecutive birdies. He's 5 under through 8, as you mentioned, tied for second, 2 strokes behind the clubhouse leader at Eric Cole at 7 under par. Brian Harmon now the 3rd in the odds board at 14-1 here at Bally's DraftKings Sportsbook. He was actually pre-tournament 68-1 here.
Oh, 68. Okay. I wrote down 55.
They had a great number here at DraftKings. So they typically do on the golf. If you're late on Justin Thomas, he was 29-1. He's now up to 37-1, considering he's 1 under. So if you're late to the party, you could probably add him at even a better price. But the world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, yet to go off. He tees off at 12:55 in just about an hour. With Sam Burns at 12:55.
The leader in the clubhouse, Eric Cole, shot that 63. That included an eagle. Max, we got somewhere around 50 golfers on the course, and there's only about 8 of them over par. So what are we looking at to win this golf tournament?
Well, they said they got a lot of rain earlier in the week. We typically see a score somewhere around 20 under par. I would guess it might have to go a little lower. We've seen 59 shot here before. Jim Furyk shot at 59. It's a par 70, so that's 11 under par. But nevertheless, this is normally a course that plays pretty easy. I thought early on it was playing a little bit harder than I expected, but we're seeing the results that I would expect. Right now, the golf course is playing at, let me see here. Well, I lost my feed, but nevertheless, it's playing 2 under par on average. We'll see if Scotty can set that pace later this afternoon.
And did you say right at the end of your segment yesterday that it's kind of disrespectful for Hideki Matsuyama to be 80-1?
80-1.
80-1. 3 under through 15.
Okay.
So
not bad.
He's certainly in the conversation here at Bally's in the Sports Book. Live at lunch. Hour number 2 straight ahead. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Bally's in downtown Baton Rouge. We are in the Sportsbook area with this gorgeous, gigantic screen. Come on and watch the World Cup tonight as the United States wraps up their pool play portion of the tournament. We got the golf on here this afternoon, Travelers Championship, Major League Baseball. Of course, all the time here at Bally's, where you can also get a good meal. We've enjoyed sampling.
Oh, you got
some
good
of
restaurant options here.
Sampling some of the different the pizza, the oysters.
Well, the wood burning stove pizza. They're making the dough fresh. You can watch them prepare it there. I mean, their oysters. They do a great job with their oysters. So the oyster bar and there are different menu items. There's. You could do the Italian sandwiches also and pasta dishes that they have in the dining depot. You've got the other the 24-hour coffee bar, which is they do some heat they'll heat up some different sandwiches as well. I think they do the pastry sandwiches besides just the coffee, and then that it's the depot the restaurant you go to, Charlie, where it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's a little bit of everything, kind of just from po' boys to plate lunches to breakfast in the morning.
Right in the hotel lobby, and I'll tell you something else that they are coming down the stretch in the construction of the front of the place.
I know they're working.
They are working very, very hard to get the front. It's going to be beautiful when it's finished. Right at the new front of the hotel, which is the far end of the casino from where we are. But should have that ready to go for football season. It's going to be a big football season.
It's for people coming up from out of town. Oh, definitely, this place will be. I mean, really, really popular with the LSU schedule that they have. I mean, if you're looking to stay, I would get on those rooms immediately. But even for us, like staycation, rooms are nice. No carpet, so it doesn't have that buildup of, that traffic. Carpet could be a little, get a little nasty and stuff like that. Not the case. So they're modern. It's more of a kind of a warehouse type of decor that you have in the different rooms, and so you just roll on over here, and man, this place for football season is going to be really, really nice. So yeah, it's happening over here. It's maintained. How long been open? Right, got open right toward the middle to end of football, huh? With about a month left to go in football season, huh?
It was in December.
Yep,
it was in December.
Yeah.
So NBA draft wrapped up last night. The Pelicans had the third to last pick of the draft. They took out of SMU Jaron Pierre, and he is a former St. Aug standout. Finished last year at SMU. He's been I found this, I don't know, interesting, I suppose. He was a very, very highly recruited player out of St. Aug, but it was during COVID that he came out. And he's been obviously in school for a long time with all of the, COVID allowances and stuff like that. He was in the same high school class as Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is about to start his 6th NBA season. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, this fall will be his 6th season. Now, Cunningham was the number 1 pick in the draft. Precocious talent and all that stuff. But
same class.
Same class, yeah. Pierre is 23 years old, very, very old to be drafted.
It's usually a great thing for college, but this is probably it, with the age limitation or the 5 for 5, but not so much for the NBA. They want the younger guys.
Herb Jones was pretty old when he got drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Look, he may be a find. It's not really the.
David West before that was a 4-year player at Xavier.
Xavier, yeah.
He was at SMU last year. Played against LSU, of course, in the blender. Had 16 points in that game.
So the Pelicans made no moves, no trades, no moves up or down, no moves to get back in the draft, and that's fine. I find myself wondering what exactly the plan is. And Shamit Dua, who works does his own podcast out of New Orleans, followed the. We've had him on the show before. He does the In the NO pod. He works as a contributor for WDSU and posts frequently, covers the team very, very closely. He posted something last night that caught my attention. I wanted to run this by you guys. He said, it's kind of a job to explain, and we in the media don't have much. Here's what we know about the plan. He was responding to a text like, hey, what's the plan? What's the direction? What are they trying to do here? And he says, we don't know much. Here's what we know from what the team has told us. And he put 5 things down. 1, want to be aggressive and reshape the roster. 2, don't want to rebuild. 3, Zion not going anywhere. 4, won't give away players. 5, won't mortgage the future.
That would apply with everybody. Most teams, minus the particular players.
I can't think of any possible way. And by the way, I respect his work. I think he does a great job covering the Pelicans. And I respond to him and say, I can't think of a plan that could possibly satisfy all 5 of those conditions, okay? If you want to reshape the roster, but you don't want to rebuild, and you're not willing to mortgage some future assets, and you're not going to trade Zion, then how do you reshape the roster? And the answer is you don't. Now, if they think that what they have is good enough to build around, then okay. And you gave up a great deal to bring in Queen and Fears last year, and they're both off to really good starts. If you don't want to trade Trey Murphy, I certainly understand that because he's kind of what everybody's looking for, a long shooter that, is athletic and entering his prime. Okay, I wouldn't want to trade Trey Murphy either. But if you're going to stand pat with this roster, you got to look at what this roster gives you, and what this roster gives you right now is very, very close to last place in the Western Conference. I mean, they may be better than the Kings. They may finish 12th or 13th, but it's very hard to say that with what you have, you didn't add anything in the draft. Okay, you mortgaged. We talked about that yesterday. You mortgaged this year's draft for last year's draft. But everybody mostly played last year. Murphy played 66 games. Williamson played 62 games. The draft picks, Fierce played every game, and Queen played every game but one. Herb Jones played 56. Now, the exception is DeJounte Murray. Murray was coming off the Achilles. He got back for the last 14 games of the season. And you did change coaches. But I find myself struggling to give me a vision, okay? You're going to just build around the 2 rookies. Okay. Problem, again, is playing Williamson and Queen together. So if you're bound and determined not to trade Zion, okay, and you're going to rebuild around these picks and you're not going to move anything else significantly, then how are you aggressively reshaping a roster that is very, very near the bottom of the league. I can get behind a rebuilding effort. I could even understand an aggressive move for now.
Oh, they're stuck, man.
But
come on. Listen, look. Well, how is so the teams you're striving to be. And look, the Knicks, they win it this year. Great. The parade was wonderful. All right. But I mean, the top two rosters, clearly, the Spurs and the Thunder.
Yes.
Okay. So what did the Spurs do? The Spurs won the lottery, and theirs hit. There was a lot of excitement when that lottery night when they got Zion. A lot, including me. I thought he was going to be great, man. I mean, but they missed. I mean, has he even made an All-Star team? All-Star game?
Yeah,
he made one.
2, I think.
He made 2 All-Star games.
He's at least made 1, but that's the season that he played. We played 61 games.
But he's missed, Charlie. He's not even I mean, where would you rank him as a? I mean, but you just didn't get. And look, this is an organization that twice won him. Anthony Davis was a big score to win the lottery on that one. I mean, these are guys that all 30 teams were taking number 1. There's no discussion. Yes, Anthony Davis. Okay, but yes. I mean the Spurs here. Okay, the other one, OKC, they got a haul when they traded their guy. Okay, now can you get and the guys that came in on the Paul George deal, they all hit, man. So they built it. Is Zion going to? Can Zion get you that kind of draft capital? No, but. I mean, you would try to do this. It's just how long is it? What is Zion's market? I mean, what is his trade value?
Right now, and this is just me, I think you might be able to get a first-round pick with some protections in it and a player, a kind of a mid-range player. I don't know that you would be able to get a lot more than that, and they wouldn't trade him. I don't think they would trade him for that. Maybe a lottery protected, and I'm doing this out of my head. I could be completely wrong. I would say a lottery protected pick that protects you from the top 4, maybe a little bit more than that, and a rotational player. I don't know that anybody else would take much more of a risk on that. You might get a little bit more from a team that has excessive draft picks. There's a lot of those out there that are in their rebuilding stage, but I don't know that it's much more than that. So maybe you're better off keeping him. But Zion,
he's not winning anything in New Orleans.
No, they have put together rosters around him.
Well, Murphy's interesting because all right. Oh wow, man, two years in a row he's averaging just over 21 a game. All right, well that's consistent production, but. What he thought? We thought he was going to be an elite three-point shooter. In his second year, he shot over 40%.
Yeah,
and shot 40% as the following years. I mean, 38% 2 years ago, 36%, and last year 38% basically. But his second year, 40.6%. Oh man, he's just getting started. No, it hasn't been the case. So that is maybe because he's become more volume, and he's defending, and so his shot selection is not as clean a looks, a quality. Logical, but just this sort of let's get it up and run, and the first chance I could just get it off, I'm going to get it off. I mean, but he's 40% your second year when he was that young with his length. His athleticism, I think, is okay. I think you might think a little bit higher of his athleticism than me, but he's kind of plateaued.
He has, and what got me excited about him that year that you're talking about is he just missed out on the sort of the golden standard of shooters, which is 40% from three, 50% from the floor, and 90% from the line. He just missed that, okay? He shot the 40% and he shot the 90%. He shot like 48 and change from the floor. So generally when you can do that, you are a really, really, really good shooter. And you're right, it hasn't increased from there.
Because his shots have increased. It's about 50% for those two that year.
Yeah.
And so he's not as selective with his shots. Well, that's kind of the league a little bit, but as his point production is going up because his attempts are going up.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality is going down. So, I mean, he went from 10 field goal attempts that year to the last two, 16 and 16. That's a big increase in the shots.
Yeah.
And so, of course, his points are going to be there, but the quality of the shots, not.
And this is on the offensive end, okay? Their much bigger problem is on the defensive end, where they do not have any rim protection at all. Missy has done some nice things for a younger player, and I think he's certainly got a place, long term in the league. But as a shot blocker, as a rim protector, he's still very, very raw. And they don't have anybody else. And again, they can't play Queen and Williamson together. So this is what Mosley has been being brought in to fix the defensive end, because all those offensive problems that we're talking about here, and they're not going away, they pale in comparison to what their problems are on the defensive end.
You sound frustrated, but I don't have a solution to where this team is going. I mean, no, I think they're stuck.
Well, and
you can maximize your situation, but there is it's a low ceiling.
How do you get unstuck? Because you mentioned Oklahoma City and San Antonio, Jimmy. I think they are 2 years or 3 years away from being in contention for sixth. I mean, you're talking about 2 or 3 major players. Now, look, maybe the lottery rules are revamped. Maybe they luck up and get a high pick next year, and it's a franchise-changing type of player. I don't know. But just on a basic fundamental restructure of
Charlie, for the
how
season
they do things,
for the season
years
they
away
had
from the middle.
For the season they had not to have a draft pick in the first round, in the front end of the first round is stuck. I mean, when you moved up, this is.
Where would you put them as opposed to the Houston Rockets?
Oh, the Rockets. So the Rockets need either to develop their players as shooters. The Rockets are an elite defensive team. I mean, they're one of the few teams that plays defense in the other. Mm-hmm. They need shooters. And Durant was the guy they brought in. He was one of the best shooters for a 6'11", 7-foot guy in the history of the game, but he hasn't kind of been the impact and hasn't been available for a lot of the games as well.
How far would you say the Pelicans are away from the Rockets?
Oh, a gap. Major gap.
The Rockets finished 5th. Okay, I would have given you the 6th team, but that was Minnesota, and they just revamped things. So
5th in the West.
In the West, yes. That's how far you are away from the middle of the playoffs. Forget about the Spurs and the Thunder. This is how you are.
But there's a path for the Rockets, too.
Yes.
If those guys get in the gym and start, like Thompson, man, he's got to work on his shot. Even – what's the name from LSU? Now, Torrey, and he's having a really nice. We failed to mention him, but earlier when we talking about.
I just picked the Rockets because
that's
where
Wade products. Oh no, the Rockets. The Rockets are. They have a chance.
The Trailblazers.
The Blazers are a fun team. They're a fun team. Their ownership is consistent with the Pelicans.
Cheap.
This is historical cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, you. What is the deal? Why did you let that guy Splitter go? I mean, that was a really impressive job to salvage it. The team obviously responded to him. They had some heat. What's the kid from Israel for the Blazers? The player was unbelievable.
Avila.
Yeah. I mean, he started surging under Splitter.
Yeah.
I mean, to let that guy walk is just so foolish. And then you want to give your new coach a 1-year deal? I mean, okay. I mean, who else does that?
Nobody. I
applaud
the idea.
They had a little bit of a chance because they got some guys that could go. They could play a little bit, but they let a key piece in Splitter just walk.
Yeah, and Avdia was an all-star this past year.
Yeah, he's in. when did they make the switch? How many games in or was it right before the season that actually that a boy got caught up in this?
Chauncey Billups?
Yeah, that was right before the season or right at the beginning of the season, huh?
I remember it.
January, maybe. January, February.
It was early part. It was pre All-Star break.
I bring them up because they
Splitter
finished
coached all season. It looks like
all season. So it was before the season.
I bring them up because they finished 7th. They were the highest team in the
Yeah,
play-in.
but they're building, and I could see them ascending.
Yeah.
No, the
Pelicans are miles away from them.
Well,
and they're in 7th.
Did they have a pick? Did the Portland have a pick? Did the Rockets have a pick?
Not everybody had a pick, but yeah.
It's
that's
just,
my point. Those teams are in the middle, but at least I understand what they're doing. The Pelicans are miles away from them.
That's the middle.
And I don't know what they're doing.
That's the middle of the
the Western Conference.
No, top 5 of 15 is. The Rockets are better than the middle.
Well, they finished 5th.
I don't know, 5 of 15, Charlie.
Yeah,
they're 15
okay.
teams. That's not you just looking at the playoffs,
right?
But the team that made the playoffs, the 8, that's the middle of the playoffs. But the teams that
Clippers, Suns, that's the middle. That's 8-9. They're miles away from those teams.
See, the Rockets and Blazers are, I think, moving in a much better direction than the Suns and Clippers.
I understand what the Mavericks are doing now. Once they get John Moran out of town, I understand what Memphis is doing. I have no idea.
What do you see what Dallas is doing?
Yeah, I understand what Dallas
is doing. Dallas brought in a respected GM, and he is doing his thing. Jason Kidd get whatever, but there's some things. That flag is, they won their lottery, okay?
Yeah.
And we still see that was BS how they gave him. He stat chased to get the award. I think still he'll be the best rookie of that class, but he didn't deserve the Rookie of the Year. And the thing is, but there is a plan in place there, but Flag is likely to have a better 5-year start than Zion Williamson. Is he not?
Yes. They made a franchise crippling
he's not a
move and are already back on the right track. And the Pelicans
they won the lottery.
They seem
they won the lottery, and
then
Flag is, man, you got it when you hit that. Williamson is a bust. And there's not a team, and you can't blame him for taking him. There's not a team in the 30 that wouldn't have taken him.
It's one of many problems that they've got.
Yeah, don't forget our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana on Bluebonnet between Perkins and Highland. The event was postponed to today. So the severe weather last week forced us to postpone it to today. But today, 2 to 9 p.m., it's an open house event, catered, light bites and drinks. You get to tour a state-of-the-art facility, interact with our staff, and kind of ask about some different procedures that you may be. Is this something that you have in mind, but you don't exactly know the procedure? Just educate yourself on the different treatments that we have. Exclusive one-day pricing on select treatments and skincare products like injectables, facial balancing, tattoo removal, laser hair removal, hair restoration, skin perfection collection, hydrofacials, skin rejuvenation, products, and more products, all with tremendous savings for this one-day event. It's 2 to 9 p.m. No reservation, no RSVP is required. Just stop on in. Tell them that you heard us talking about it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. But plenty of savings on numerous products, services, and procedures. It's our Capri event today, 2 to 9 p.m. at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana on Bluebonnet between Perkins and Highland Road.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, open in LaRose and Lockport locations. Big specials on grills right now from Broil King. Welcome to the kingdom with Broil King. Tools from DeWalt, from Stanley, from Milwaukee, from Channel Lock, all available right now on the website, thethibodeaustore.com. We'll get you to all 4 of those websites. American flags. Got a ton of American flags in stock. 4th of July rapidly approaching. Show you patriotism with your American flags. Outdoor cooking equipment, patio furniture, poolside furniture, cordless power tools, seeders and spreaders, tons of equipment for fishing if you're down at the Thibodaux store in Thibodaux, 900 St. Patrick Highway. Highway 70 in Pierre Part. TheThibodauxStore.com online.
Charlie, a short seg here maybe, but a couple of games in Major League Baseball. Pirates are winning 3-0. They're still without Cruz. O'Neal Cruz, he's been out for there's some key guys. Cruz is out for the Pirates right now, which for the Royals, the shortstop.
Bobby Witt?
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is out with I think a groin or hamstring a little bit. He's been out for about a week. Acuna out for the Braves. But you were talking about Devers last night. Gage jump.
Oh, another.
Gage jump.
Yeah, another.
5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts, and 1 walk. That is two. Now, they pulled him after throwing like 97 pitches. So he gets a no decision. A's scored 1 late innings in in the 8th inning, and then gave up 2 in the bottom of the 9th and lost it last night. But the Angels, he shut out as well, 7 innings. So remember that we're talking about that. We had a rough start against Seattle. The Wrigley Field, the wind was blowing in a little bit. That helped in there. But the last 3 of 4 starts, he hadn't given up a run.
Yeah, the ERA is down to just an eyelash over 2 in his 6 starts, and the whip's below 1.
No, he's settling in, man. And look, out watching it. San Francisco, they only had 4 base runners against him. They were not threatening. He might be finding something. Now, San Francisco's not the best, but they're a major league lineup. I mean, it was impressive.
You know how we follow the Pirates because of Skeens?
Mm-hmm.
The A's, not just jump, but Tommy White is having himself a really good season so far. He's in AAA now in that organization.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's going to be up. I don't know if it's going to be by the end of this season. They may want to let him get all of those at-bats at AAA the rest of the season, but he is going to be a Las Vegas A at some point in the near future.
They're falling below 500 a little bit. They're hitting a little bit of a slide right now, 38-42, so 4 games under. Seattle's losing again today at Pittsburgh. So you're looking at the Astros are just 2.5 back. And if the Pirates hold on the lead, they'll be 2 back with all the problems that they've had. So Seattle is the one team that everybody's waiting to kind of get going, with all the pitching that they have, that the pieces they picked up, for their lineup. They've just been kind of an underachieving team. But still, the A's, that's funny that, Tommy White, his biggest hit as an LSU Tiger was the 2-run homer against Wake Forest in extra innings. And the A's best player, it's not by no argument there, is Brandon Kurtz, the big first baseman from Wake Forest.
Yeah.
And it was in that game.
He he's played 40 games for the AAA team is still in Las Vegas.
Yes.
39 games. He's hitting 299, 7 homers, 34 runs batted in. So he's just under an RBI a game. He is off to he started the season.
Where's he playing?
Third base. He started the season at Double-A, and he tore that up. So they promoted him after the first 3 weeks of the season to Las Vegas, and that's where he is. And he's having a very, very good year.
Yeah, he's going to have to play third base because Kurtz is going to stay at first. So left field, I don't know about that, but because he worked on his fielding a lot. But still, it's not a given that he would be a start at third base for a lot of teams.
Yeah, he hit an even 300 through multiple minor league teams last year. Fielding percentage, I don't have it. I'd have to look that up. I got his offensive numbers. I don't have his defensive numbers, but he hitting. I know that. Let's see if I can find that during the break.
The power numbers, I was a little concerned when you were ripping them off. Batting at 300, that's a big deal because that park, man, we remember when they played that 6-game homestand in Summerlin, right there by Colucci in his backyard there with the Coyotes, but the ball flies out of there, man. I mean, it flies out. So, but 300 impresses me more than the 7 home runs.
Yeah, give him last season it was 8 home runs and 250 plate appearances. So, at bats.
Yeah,
it translates to 16 to 18 homers over a full season. But I think those power numbers will go up.
And that is a youth-friendly, just the organization right now. A youth-friendly roster. I mean, he's going to get called up, like you said. But they have a lot of young. That's an organization who has had all kinds of struggles. Mm-hmm. Who they could see there's a little bit of excitement there. There's a little bit of you can see this thing coming around. Similar a little bit maybe to that Astros team. That at one point, when Biggio and Bagwell kind of got going.
Yeah, they've got that. The thing with that franchise is, what I want to see, they consistently for 25 years have poor mouth. We don't have any money. When they move into Las Vegas, into that new stadium, they are going to have some cash. Now, you take all these prospects and then you add in a couple of veteran pieces and you spend a little bit of money, then, you may really have something.
I mean, it's kind of what the Pirates did this year. And I mean, they're right. They're going to be. They should be.
The Pirates added some veteran pieces without that big influx of cash. The owner just decided to get off of his wallet.
Well, they know they have a window with Skeens.
Yeah,
I mean, and they tried. They just that bullpen has been.
The A's will have more money to spend in 2 years. A significant more money to spend.
Gotcha.
In 2 years.
Gotcha. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service, which you get with our great team at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Bally's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Bally's, where tonight the United States will wrap up pool play. Max, you told us that this match doesn't mean anything as far as who they're going to play next and all that. Didn't mean anything for Mexico last night. They certainly didn't take the night off. I don't know how many of their starters played or whatever, but they routed. I've forgotten who they played, but they won easy. So what was the United States looking for tonight? You're taking out the yellow card, guys, but what you've been debating this for 2 days about what they're going to do in this match tonight.
Yeah, so Mexico played Czechia and they won 3-0.
Yeah.
And they got to have their iconic, generational talent of a goalkeeper in Mema Ochoa. They got to start him because it meant nothing. So he got a nice sending off. They don't expect him to play anymore after this. But this is a chance for the U.S. to rotate heavily. They're going to play a lot of new starters. Pochettino, their manager, has already announced that all of the players on yellow cards, there are 4 of them, some pretty key players at that, are not going to play in this game at all. The reason being, if you get 2 yellow cards in the group stage, you are suspended for your match in the round of 32.
That's the easy part. We knew that, yeah. I
mean, so they're not going to risk it with them.
But it's the others that has been the debate. You got to keep this momentum. They're talking about. Watching the coverage and the umpteen studio shows we have in between these matches. So a lot of them. I think Lawless, talking about, he's a momentum guy that you got to still play a chunk of the regular players.
I think you're going to see some of the same starters, but I think you're going to see a lot of rotation.
They haven't announced yet?
They don't announce until an hour before. I think the forwards you're going to see a lot of different. I think it'll be maybe Ricardo Pepi will start, but I think Haji Wright, who we have not seen much of yet, is going to get the start. He had 17 goals for Coventry City this year, so I'd actually look for him to score a goal. He's plus 155 here at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Once it's announced, you could see those odds drop significantly. But I think you're going to see probably 3 starters that we've seen to this point. I think we could see Weston McKennie remain. He's kind of a workhorse guy in the midfield, and maybe see him subbed out a little bit earlier. I don't know that we'll see some of the other big names, and I do think this tests their defense a little bit. The back line was the concern coming into the World Cup for the USA. They've struggled. They've given up goals, especially with Chris Richards, who is their center back. He came in a little unhealthy. He's played very, very well. He's only missed 4 passes in the entire tournament, I believe. And he is on a yellow card, so he's not going to play today. So I think that means that the U.S. might be a little more vulnerable at the back. And this is against the Turkey team that has not gotten any points yet. They've lost both their 2 matches. They were thought to be, by some, the best team in this group, despite being in the fourth pot. Yeah, there was some expectation that if the U.S. was not at home, that they would be favored to win this group. But it's been a very disappointing performance for them. They haven't been to the World Cup in a while, but when they did, the last time was 20-some-odd years ago. I think they got all the way to the semifinals. So they were very excited about this World Cup team. They've got some class, some players who are who are part of, Arda Güler plays for Real Madrid. Demiral is somebody who's played at the highest level for Juventus. So they've got some high quality players who have played at the top leagues in Europe, and it just hasn't worked out for them. So they're playing for pride at this point. They'd like to get something out of this, but for the U.S., I do think momentum is a key thing, but you can't risk anybody getting hurt for what really matters, which is next week on Wednesday. So I'm actually a little surprised there's been as much anticipation. I feel like there's still a lot of people who want to watch this match, who are excited to watch tonight, considering it means nothing. I kind of felt like maybe there won't be as much attention on this, but it seems like people still want to see it, get the excitement going, and as you mentioned, Jimmy, Mexico winning 3-0. Charlie, you mentioned this. That's huge for momentum for them because Mexico, they haven't allowed a goal at this World Cup. This is not the best
Mexico's
Mexican team.
Been more impressive.
Yeah,
anticipated.
This has not been the
Brazil,
Mexican team.
There was a lot of talk about they're down. Don't expect it. Brazil is rolling people.
But Mexico
right
and U.S. are at home, and Mexico is going to get to host in the round of 32, which Canada will not because they did not win their group.
Yeah.
So they finished second. They're going to face South Africa, but they're going to have to come to the U.S. to play that match.
How big of a favorite was Canada yesterday and lost?
Ooh, good question. They were actually a slight underdog, if I remember. Switzerland's a good team. So I think, in terms of the three-way action, I think Switzerland was like plus 155.
You picked the Switzerland.
Canada was plus 200. Yeah, I thought Switzerland was going to win.
Watch out for Bosnia. So Bosnia won as well. But
that's basically clinched.
But when you're talking about risking injuries and things like that, the obvious name is a big part of their team was skipped the first 2 games. And Pulisic. And
he played in the first half of the first game.
I'm sorry.
Very impactful in that game.
The first half. And was a late scratch in game 2.
There was kind of an expectation that he would miss, that the knock on the calf was significant enough for him to miss that game.
Max, they were saying that morning. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. He was working out on the side a lot. Wasn't participating in team drills as much like he has this week leading into tonight's match. But they were all in, and then boom, an hour before breaking news, he's out.
Yeah, he wasn't working, really with most of the drills. So from my expectation was that he was not going to play.
It was being reported by people covering it for the network saying, everything looks good, and boom, breaking news. But he needs to play some.
I agree.
Maybe a half.
He's saying he's 100%. I think he would be somebody who I don't think you start with him. I think you sub him on so that way you can control his minutes.
Well, does it matter if he comes in the first half or second half?
It can a little bit because for substitution patterns, for reasons like that. Because if you sub him out and his replacement ends up getting hurt, or you take him out, then you have to sub for the same position once again. So I think they're probably going to end up not starting him and playing him for the last 30 minutes or so. But I agree, You want to see Pulisic. If he is 100%, you want to see him get back into game shape, get those true reps, and see how he feels. But I'd expect him to participate in some capacity tonight.
Charlie, when LSU was doing bowl games in New Orleans, and so we kind of parlayed it into sort of game day shows for the Saints. And I remember being down there for the Saints game when they have won the division. And whether it was first seed or second seed, they had their seeding set, but they were still playing out the string with that last game. And Sean Payton never played Drew Brees and a lot of the starters, and they usually lost and stuff like that. But it was still not just a given that the Saints, it was still fresh with the fan base of them being good, okay? And I think that the novelty and I think that the people going to the game are going to be excited as hell, okay? Yeah. Whoever's on the field is going to be, giving their 100%, you know that. But I think the bandwagon aspect, the ascend, and the team has been, how could they possibly look any better in the first two games than what they have? And so I think the excitement level, people watch, no, and they don't care if it doesn't count for anything or not. They want to feel good about U.S. soccer.
Yeah, and
that's my opinion.
They want to. If you're just watching soccer during the World Cup, you don't watch it at any other time. You're going to tune in for this tonight, even if it's a little bit later, and you want to put a little token bet just to do it tonight. Is there any value in this thing? The U.S. is, I think, minus 120 tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at minus 115 here at DraftKings Sportsbook. I can't bet them with how heavily it's going to be rotated.
What's the draw?
Or it is minus 20, actually. Plus 310 is the draw. I think there's a way to do this. I think there are going to be goals in this match. I kind of alluded to that. I bet both teams to score. I gave that out on an Australia game. It did not work out that way. They had a clean sheet, which is very encouraging for the U.S. I don't see how Turkey doesn't find the back of the net. They haven't to this point, and they've taken a ton of shots. They have 40 shots for this tournament, and you've yet to find the back of the net. So they are peppering opponents. But I just don't think this U.S. back line, considering the rotation, is going to be as good. So I would look at over 2.5, although the market is certainly siding with that as well. That's normally kind of a pick 'em in this World Cup. It's minus 165 for the over. So maybe you can parlay with that with the goal scorer. And like I mentioned, I think Haji right at plus 155. I think he can score for the United States.
U.S. will play with 11, right?
They can.
They're going to play with 11.
Oh, yeah. It'll be 11-11.
Because I've seen Turkey not score against 10 for a whole half.
That's true. I forgot about that, Charlie. I know you're not a fan of the Turkish team.
But I'll say this about the NFL in this situation. The team whose seeding is set, that they're going to rest players against a team that's playing for pride and their season's ending after this, like Turkey, I'm on Turkey. Sorry, you can call me an anti-patriot, whatever, but I'm either going to be a draw or split, a Turkey to win or a Turkey with a draw.
Yeah, you can do double chance. Turkey to draw or win is minus 105. So that's probably the way to do it. I can't bet the U.S., and we saw it with Mexico, right? Mexico was in the same sort of position, and they won 3-0. So
what is Turkey to win on the three-way?
They are plus 300.
And then plus 300. You don't bet the win or draw. You just bet both of them because they're both plus 300. You're going to get double your money. You want to lose a unit, and you're going to gain 3.
Yeah.
So, that's paying double.
Explain that for the uninitiated for soccer.
To win or draw is basically even money.
Okay.
But to win is plus 300. To draw is plus 300. You bet 100 on both, you'll win 200 instead of 100 if one of those two options hit. This is an easy. Charlie, if we're struggling with this one, bro, we got to go home.
That's why I asked you to explain it.
Rarely are the odds that drift different for just a way to bet it.
We've seen Pochettino in some of the friendlies and some of the other matches that they played, the tournaments leading up to this World Cup. He has rotated significantly because of some of the players being in Europe, and they've won in some matches. Now, they've lost some of them, but he has said before, we rely on our entire roster. And so I think he's comfortable sending some new guys out, and they're going to fight for the national team. These new guys, they're going to want to win, of course.
That dude is a star in this country right now, bro.
Pochettino's been awesome.
He's
tactically breaking down teams. He's one of the better managers in this World Cup. He's done an outstanding job.
We'll come back and wrap things up here. We are at Bally Sportsbook and Casino, downtown Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
at lunch from Bally's Casino and Sportsbook on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Over at the Travelers Championship, lots of red numbers. Eric Colin at 7 under. 2 golfers in at 6 under, including Ben Griffin. Patrick Cantlay, 5 under 65. He is done for the day. JT just made a birdie putt to move him to 2 under. One of our consensus picks. Other one, we may have jinxed him.
Oh, we jinxed him. This is the definition of a jinx. He made 4 straight birdies. We talk about Brian Harmon. He's 5 under. We gave him out at 68-1. Well, he's gone bogey, 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 double bogey in 4 holes. So 5 over in a stretch of 4 holes. He's back to even par through 12.
There's a broadcaster's jinx.
That's a rough one. To go from 4 straight birdies to 4 straight bogeys or worse.
You had put Aaron Rai on your card as well yesterday.
Yes, he's off to a great start. The PGA champion.
5 under through 16.
5 under through 16. 17 and 18 are, well, 17's a tougher hole. He's on the green in 2, but 18's not the hardest hole. You've got this is one of the more interesting, entertaining back nines. There's a lot of risk-reward holes. So I like the Travelers for that purpose, but not that challenging of a golf course.
You disrespected Hideki Matsuyama, 3 under 67 a day, solid round.
That's okay.
Somebody at 80-1.
The average scoring is just under 2 under par, so that's just above average, but nothing that special. We're watching actually on the Golf Channel the Women's PGA. It's the 3rd major. They have 5 majors in women's golf. Nelly Korda.
Love me some Nelly Korda.
Tied for 6th. She's 6 back of Yoon, who's at 8 under par, but good start. Tied for 6th, and calendar Grand Slam. Is it possible? They have 5 of them. The Women's PGA is not the most prestigious of them by any means, but she won the first 2. So she's
What's their 5th? What's
there.
the 5th that the men don't have?
Well, they have the Evian and they have the Chevron as well. The Chevron has always happened. So
and they don't play a British Open?
They basically have 2 Masters. No, they've got a British, they've got a U.S. Open, they've got a PGA, but they essentially have 2 versions of the Masters that are played at specific venues. Women's PGA here this week at Hazeltine, which hosted the 2016 Ryder Cup.
Sam Burns teeing off right now. He and Scotty Scheffler are playing together in the afternoon grouping. They are teeing off right now as we finish up here.
Great thing about over here at the DraftKings Sportsbook is that you got just such a wide range. You can the betting menu is just unbelievable for the World Cup. We were just scratching the surface on a couple of ways to attack this World Cup, in this unique round. And I think that's the best. Max, you tell me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like in NFL Week 17 where one team's seeding is set and the other team is playing for pride.
Very much so.
Yeah. So, I do not think the U.S. is the way to go in this one, a particular night. But Jim, look, we got World Cup, got Major League Baseball. I'll give you one right now as far as Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh, Charlie. Yeah. Are they good on handling leads?
Not really good.
Okay, Mariners are plus 316, down 3-1 in the 5th right now. They will have a shot to come back in that one today.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Tomorrow we are at Ruffino's on Highland Road. Thanks to the fine folks here at Bally's Sportsbook and Casino in downtown Baton Rouge. For Jimmy and for Max, Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.